Good day, everyone. You are all welcome to our Be Proactive webinar series. This is going to be the third edition of this series. And today we are going to be talking about security operation using open source tools. I know that a whole lot of people that are still trying to join the call. So we're going to give them like 5 minutes before we start. Thank you. Good afternoon once again. For those of us that are just joining, you're all welcome to our Be Proactive webinar series. On today's edition, we are going to be taking ourselves through this topic, security operation using open source tools. I have with me on the call Chukwuka Isaac, who is our offensive security lead, and our Ishaku, who is our lead security operation. They are going to be taking us through this section. Although this series today is this edition is segmented into two. There's another segment where we're going to be talking about what people should be looking out for in Q2, especially looking at the cyber threat landscape. So Awal and Chukwuka, are you guys on the call?
Yeah, Hamza, good afternoon. Feels good to be on this call with you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
So I think we can start now so that we'll be able to walk along the line. Other people will join us as we continue on the call. Chukwuka, you can start, yes.
All right, thank you, Hamza. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. My name is Chukwuka Isaac, and I'm the lead offensive security engineer here at Cyber Plural. And today we are going to see how organizations also could leverage on open source tools in enhancing their operation as regards SOC activities. And this chart, my talk will be revolving around this chart. You can see we have security onion, we have logs in red, and we also have the Wazoo. As a matter of fact, everything you see here from the security onion, the Wazoo, they are all open source. And you can also see the core of the security operation center, which is monitoring, case management, threat intelligence, incident handling, and forensic and malware analysis. These are really the core of, aside the whole other maybe specific things, a security operations center will do. These are really core activities that goes on in a security operations center. Now, on the left, we have security onion. Well, this is not a webinar. This is not aimed at discrediting, those commercial tools out there, because they also do well. But then we want to show something that could also bring value to organization or security operations center, bring value, bring bring results as well, give them visibility to their environment, enhance their operations, and also make the whole SOC activities go so easily and without, having them spend so much money, so long as they have, people with the required skills to manage these things. And we're going to start with the security onion, which is a very, very good one, especially as it comes as a SIEM, but then it has other things embedded in it. As you can see, you have the cyber chip, which is like a Swiss Army knife for encoding, decoding, even for data analysis. It is a very, very cool tool that is built into security onion, which is a SIEM. Then you also have the fleets DM. Now, this fleets basically works with OS query. This is where all system that has the OS query agent running on them are able to, you can be able to manage all of it from your fleet DM. And this fleet DM comes by default in security onion. We also have Kibana, which gives you a very, very cool dashboard, for monitoring your activities. Although Kibana works with Elasticsearch, which acts as the database now, and it's very, very fast and robust. This is also built into security onion. Security onion also has something called the Hive that is used for case management as well, and we'll be looking at some of these things during the course of this program. Then we also have Shuffle. Shuffle is also an open source SOA, which also allows you to create playbooks. Of course, security onion also comes with certain playbooks or templates you could use for your incident response. But Shuffle, which is a SOA, helps you, carry out some of these responses as well, because it has different apps that comes with it. Now, at the end of the day, for security onion to be able to provide you with the visibility you need a log, right? And this log could come from your network, your endpoints. Your endpoints that could be your servers, your firewall, network devices, switches, or you can get all of your logs from there, and you can do it maybe in different ways. I mentioned OS query earlier. You can use SysMon. You can use, like, there's so many ways you can forward logs, to security onion. And the beauty of security onion is that you don't necessarily need an agent to have logs come to security onion. Once you're able to plug this into a network, your mirrored network, it's able to and do this analysis and give you something very, very nice, something very, very actionable. It's really, really cool. And the beauty is that it's so free, it's open source. Anybody can just go grab it and do something nice with it. On the right, you'll have the Wazoo. This is what we'll be experimenting with all of these. I'll be showing you how all of this works. Today we have the Wazoo, which is also a very, very cool SIEM platform. It also works as an EDR. That's the beauty of it, because it can do some level of response as well, active response as well. So I'm going to show us how the Wazoo interface looks like, some of the things we can do, how we can integrate VirusTotal to it, how we can do vulnerability scans on our systems with it, how we can do file integrity monitoring as well. It's just super cool, and in general events monitoring as well. So I'm also going to show us how we integrate MISP to the MISP is also a threat. It's a platform where people just report threats, but it's very, very robust because it is able to categorize all of these things, gives you detailed reports, and even map it to MITRE as well. So it's really really, really cool as well. So we also have the Hive. The Hive is a case management system, and we see how we can integrate MISP, Cortex, and VirusTotal all to the Hive as well. Forward all of our Wazoo logs to the Hive as well. We're going to see how all of these things are play out in your security operation. I mean, if you have your Wazoo, you have the Hive, you have Cortex, because these things actually make your the life of a security analyst so easy, especially when you're doing maybe incident response, or you're trying to analyze a particular IOC or something. You don't have to start looking, for too many places to do all of those things. From one spot, from a single spot, you can do your threat intelligence. You can have a case manager. You can do incident handling. You can, even monitor monitored through the Hive as well. So it's a really cool platform, and I hope we have a nice time exploring all of these things. So I'll just go straight to my Wazoo platform now, so that I'll show us what it looks like. I'll share my screen. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, all right. So this is the Wazoo platform. Now this whole setup is an extract from our course on Security Operations Center, planning and developing a security operations center. It's a course that is going to be coming up in June. So we just took some experts, and in that course, we will be showing how to set up all of these things, security onion, Wazoo, Cortex, Hive, how you can integrate all of these things into your security operations center. So meanwhile, for now, I'm just going to show us through this Wazoo. This is a SIEM platform. As you can see, it has different modules. It has a module for security events, integrity monitoring, vulnerability, VirusTotal, and MITRE. It's also, gives you some kind of regulatory compliance reports as well, or checks too. So I'm going to quickly start with the security and events. So you can see here, it gives you a very nice dashboard, very nice. Something you can easily make sense out of valid accounts. Now you can see here for this week, let's not forget that this is a lab environment. This is just set up for the sake of this webinar series. For this week, we've been able to record 2,041 events, and out of these 2,041 events, we have those with high threat level over 12 to be 53, and it's easy to just drill into this thing now. Successful authentications as well, you can see them here. Now, if I can easily drill into this by clicking, just to see this alerts that has high threat level. Now, you see, most of these things are coming from VirusTotal. Like I said, I'm going to show us how you integrate this to VirusTotal as well. Then it also shows you, okay, a lot of these things are coming from the vulnerability scans done on the system, because the Wazoo agent, so you can see it's telling, and that is why it is reporting it as an alert. And this is something that should be fixed as well. So that is just it for the security event. You can play with it the way you want. You can search maybe here by you can search by day, weeks, last 15 minutes, last 24 hours. It gives you a lot of flexibility as well. And you can also query if you want to create your own queries and search, just like you have in other SIEM platforms like Splunk and the rest. So it gives you all that, flexibility. Now, moving forward, another thing I would like us to look at is the vulnerabilities. Now, I said this is also able to do vulnerabilities on all those endpoints that have the agents installed on it. So it looks at it and tell you, okay, which system, what are the vulnerabilities? It's able to categorize them, whether it is severe or not as well. And you see, for this one, I just have two agents here, my Ubuntu and this CP. So you can see these from the vulnerability now done on these systems. I can see that there are 46 critical severity alerts. Now, as an analyst, I can raise this to those in charge of system administration for them to make the proper updates or patches required for these endpoints or servers. So if I click on it, so you can see the vulnerability there, the CVEs. Well, it gives you a very clear chart of everything. Now, if I can just select that of the Ubuntu, the Ubuntu. This one is a Windows operating system. Now, I can view the events here to have a clear picture of what exactly is going on. Now with this, you don't you don't necessarily, you might not need an external vulnerability scanner, maybe like OpenVAS, Nessus, to do some of these things on the go. Wazoo does it for you because the agents are already running on those particular endpoints of servers. So now you can see details of this particular vulnerability. See, so the vulnerability detail tells you the CVE, right? So I mean, you can expand on this to get more information about this particular vulnerability or CVE. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the VirusTotal platform plugin as well. I've also integrated VirusTotal to this, and we're going to see how it's able to capture malicious file hashes and run them. How it's able to capture hashes and run them through the VirusTotal engine and tells you if it is malicious or not. So far it's been able to capture 208 positive events, but then out of these 208, only 7 is malicious. Now, if I click on this, now it tells these are the ones that are malicious, right? So what I can just do is just click on any of them so that I can see details of this particular maybe hash or something, or it depends. It could be a hash, it could be a file, it could be an IP, an executable. VirusTotal picks of that. So I'll just click on it to see how many vendors have actually scanned it to the malicious. So the beauty of all this now is I'm doing all of these things from one platform, just from Wazoo. So you can see this is a very, very malicious file. It's actually a malware that I downloaded on my Windows VM. I'll just start it quickly. It's a malicious file that I downloaded on my Windows VM, and you can see because I have set some kind of integrity monitoring on that particular folder, on my downloads folder. VirusTotal is able to pick it and run a query against it on this VirusTotal platform. Now, while we're doing that, I also like to show us the integrity monitoring as well, because Wazoo also enables you. There are some default, like your registries, those ones are monitored by default, but then you could add specific folders that you feel okay, maybe has sensitive content, or you feel that there should be regular monitoring. Like the bad guys who often targets the temp folder, want to drop files or malicious contents in the temp folder where they feel they have some level of privilege. But you can also add folders like that now to be monitored by Wazoo, such that whenever there's something malicious dropped in that kind of a folder, you get an alert immediately. It is run through. You get an alert maybe that something has been dropped, maybe there's a modification, something has been deleted, or a file has been added. And if it is something malicious, you can also run it through. It's also run through VirusTotal automatically. So as you can see, because this Windows system is up now, you can see the agents as also it's picked also by our Wazoo manager or SIEM. So here you can see some of the folders that have been monitored, some of the modifications that have been made in those folders as well. So this is my Windows machine. Just going to put my password. This is where I download my malwares from. Again, it's that's malware. That's malware.k.eu. You can, let me just pick one. Let me just download one so that we see how this works. So I'm just going to download this one. Okay, it's done downloading. So let's see. downwards. Okay, so this is the one I just downloaded. So what I'll do is I'm going to extract all. Extracts. So by default, standard practice, you need to password all malware with the password infected. So I'm just going to enter that and hit enter. So you can see this is it now. Let's click on it. Now let's go back to okay. So let's just go back to the Wazoo and see how Wazoo is able to respond to this changes we've done on that Windows 10 platform. So maybe I'll just refresh this. Let's see if because my download folder is being monitored. So because if there's anything, like you can see, it tells you folders, things that have been modified. If anything has been deleted from that folder, you could actually see it as well. So refresh this. Sometimes it takes a while before it just fixes it. So my point here is Wazoo is also able to do a very good file integrity monitoring. Like once there is any change or anything that's been altered on a particular folder that you've maybe a particular folder of interest, Wazoo is able to pick it and tell you, okay, what exactly has been done on that particular folder. Was the file deleted? Was it modified, or was the new file created? Just like we have here now. So here you can see this file was deleted. If I can click to expand on it. I'll just show down my Windows VM so that my RAM show down this. I don't think I don't need it anymore. So let's see the folder that was deleted. It is still loading. So the good thing now is that it also gives you timestamp of all of these things. It gives you a clear timestamp of when all of these incidents are happening. And you can also select what you want to see from here as well. If you want to, for this case now, so these are the fields I have selected. You could remove or you could add. So it depends on you, but you don't want it to be overwhelming. So you just select things that are of interest to you. So let's just, this is still loading. Stops. Now, let me make it clear that this takes a lot of system resources. For me to set up this lab, I am using a system of a 24 gig RAM. So, and it's still this, slow. So ideally you want to, okay, it's up now. So just click on this to expand and you see more, get more information about maybe a particular file or that is modified or deleted on that particular endpoint, Okay, so this is it. So it gives you more information. This registry value tells you the person, what have been modified. Sorry for this delay. Okay, while this is loading, maybe I should just start up the MISP as well. So, let's see if this one is not. Okay, so this is taking a lot of time, but basically, you're able to do your file integrity monitoring, select a particular folder of interest that you want this to monitor, and you can do all of this through your the Wazoo configuration. If you go to management, you go to configuration. Now you see edit configuration. So this is where I have added the okay. So this is for VirusTotal. Now this is for VirusTotal integration for with the Hive as well. But basically, this is where you do all of your configuration. This is where you add all of your maybe you want to add external plugins or tools to APIs as well. So this is where you do it from this place of conf file. So at the end of the day, you save and restart your manager. So moving forward, I'm going to just go to show us other things like Cortex. I'm going to show us Cortex. I'm going to show us MISP. I'm going to show us the Hive as well. So I'm going to start with Cortex. Cortex is really, really cool for threats intelligence. For me, this Cortex, I've been able to do a lot of analyst who wants to do a lot of automation, who wants to work faster. It is very, very cool to have this Cortex. And the beauty is that it is also open source. It is free, built by the same guys who made the Hive. So here now, you can do a lot of integration to it. If I click on these analyzers, you can see my analyzers here. Now I have abuse IPD, I have abuse finder, I have any run sandbox integrated to this, I have senses, I have integrated my MIPS to it, VirusTotal as well. So you can do a lot of integration on this and run things on the go. Now, let's try running a new analysis. Like I said, on this one, okay, I have done a lot of integrations already. So I want to run a new analysis on this platform now. So what I can do is just click on new analysis. So what do I want to run? Maybe let's say a file hash, or let's say an IP or a domain, for instance. I want to run a domain. I'll put the domain name here, cyberplural.com. Now I want Google DNS to resolve this for me. I'll just pick Google DNS, and I want maybe abuse finder to check if they're okay. Let me just use Google DNS since it's not an IP, so I'll just hit start. I think I have run this before, so it takes a while. So it tells you success. So the next thing now is to view the content of it. So it just brings this as this JSON. It gives you a JSON format. You see information about cyber plural and all that, right? This is not much, but let me show you other scans that I have run. I have run rather using file hashes. So I have this one. Let me view. Okay, we don't have anything much here. View, let's see. Okay, basically this is integrated with MISP, and let me say the one I have run on VirusTotal. Okay, this is on VirusTotal. So let me view the reports for VirusTotal. So it tells you this is malicious. It tells you the malicious. It tells you it's malicious. The value is 52/70. We see the level of maliciousness there. Now, this is not super cool until we take it to the Hive, and you see how this report is presented, in a very, very clean format to you. Now, I have integrated this Cortex to my Hive. So I also have MISP here. Let me just quickly show us before I go to the Hive, because the Hive is like a central platform where you can manage all of these things. So I have my Hive here, and I have updated it, my MISP rather. I have updated it. So this is like the MISP home. So you can see it gives you regular updates of malwares that have been submitted, because people submit malwares to this MISP database like on a daily regularly. So you get up-to-date information about recent malwares. So what you can do here is maybe let's see, can view to get more information about it. Now, the beauty about this is I can view it in different formats, like see a lot of information and reports that have been made about this particular malware file now. Like, it's just so much. This is just on one. So you don't have to start looking for searching the whole internet or doing a lot of Google to see this thing. If you want external links, you have it there. You can just click on this external link to read more about that. Now, you can also view this on MITRE to even see their techniques and all that. You see, this can be viewed on MITRE as well. You can do it. It's a correlation graph as well, where this has been carefully correlated as well. So this is a super cool platform, and is also open source for threat intelligence analysis, because you have reports of threats as well here, and the reports are made in different formats, and you can use it and integrate it with Wazoo. You can integrate it with the Hive. So you can also integrate it with Cortex, and it's super cool. Super cool. So I'll just go to the Hive now, where we have all of these things integrated together. Now you can if I go here about, you can see that my Cortex is integrated to my Hive. MISP is also integrated to my Hive as well. So, and the good thing, the Hive is a case management platform basically, but it can also integrate with other SOC tools like your Wazoo and MISP and Cortex that I have just shown you. And the beauty of it is that for every activity is going on, for everything you do, it keeps a record of all of those things. So maybe where you have like a SOC manager who has assigned tasks to maybe an analyst, we can see what the analyst is doing, how the analyst is able to go through those tasks or resolve those tasks. Maybe there is an incident or something, how the analyst is able to resolve all that. Now, you can even create your own templates as well here. If I go to this organization now, I click on these templates, and you can see their templates here already. Now I have templates for recon and scan activities, right? So what I can do is edit these templates, so you can see the content of it. So now this is the templates, right? This template is for recon and scan activities. Now, what are the tasks you are supposed to do when carrying out recon? So maybe you have like a new analyst or an analyst who is not so experienced. This really gives the person like a guide on what to do. So you look at the tasks now, you can see. Okay, now identify the source of the scam. Maybe this, like I said, this is for recon. Once you identify who is behind the scam, what is the IP address and ASN of the scam. So the analyst knows exactly what to do, right? And probably how to go about it as well. Now, at the end of the day, This ones now I have them see. If you're going to make a new template, you just click on new templates. I mean, it's really so easy. Give the name of the templates with a display name, the prefix like that. Then you can start adding tags to that template. I'm just going to cancel this of time. Now, I also have other templates for command and control. I have one for phishing as well. So let's say there's a phishing campaign going on, right? These are some of the tasks that you want to, things you want to look at. So maybe the first one is consider the recipients of the email. Is there any pattern or apparent targeting that gives a clue? Maybe they are targeting C-level members or something. Now, if you're able to identify the pattern, remember this is still investigation. Now, the good thing now is you can create this following the incident response lifecycle, investigation, response, then give feedbacks or reporting. Now, here, the first thing you're investigating, identify the delivery details. Now, identify the delivery details could be the email source, how many people received the mail, how was the email delivered. So the analyst is expected to do all this check. That is why it is called a template, a table. Now, the next thing is on the investigation will be the identify the exploitation method. How was it exploited, right? So you are able to do that. The next thing was, what was the next step? You get it? So you identify it there. What document, maybe there was a macro or a link that was asked them to click or something. Now you can see this task, I assigned it to Austin, as you can see here, because this is the investigation task. Now, maybe there is a tier 2 or a tier 3 analyst who is going to do the response. So you can see now this has been assigned to another user or an analyst called Ghost. So block sender email address, remove email from user's inbox, block link of attached file. I mean, this tool is so cool. And for every of these tasks carried out by the analyst, it is recorded. That's the beauty of it. It's recorded. You, as maybe a SOC manager, can see what's the analyst has done so far. Now, if I click on this task, now you can see some of the tasks pending. Now, all I need to do is click on one of them. Now, let's say I want to start working on this task. I'll just click Start. So it tells me now that block link of file attachment status in progress, right? You see, everything is recorded here. Now, what I can do is maybe add a new log to this task. Maybe they say block link, right? So if I probably blocked this particular link or file attachment, what I can come here is add a log and probably a screenshot of how I was able to block that link or attachment and say link successfully, if I can spell successfully, being successfully blocked. Now I can add an attachment or like a screenshot of what I have done. Then all I need to do is add the log. Now the case manager is able to see, okay, that I have successfully blocked that link. Now, if I'm done with this, what I'm supposed to do here, submit the attached file maybe to an antivirus for signature creation and all that. If I've done all of this, I'll just come here and click close. Now you see, I'm done with that task. That case is closed. So you can see here, it is also recorded for me that it is completed. This is really, really awesome. Now, another cool thing, you can have observables where you can run some of those observables. Observables could be your IP address, your file hashes like that, domain names. Those are observables, and you can run them through things like Cortex, VirusTotal, and the like. So if I click here now, so I click on, let's just click on face malicious hashes so that I'll show you how you can use this. So I have like 7 observables here. Let me click on them. So what I can do now is, I can just click on this observable. Now come here and say edit. Because I have integrated my Cortex to the Hive, all of my all those other APIs that I've introduced to Cortex are migrated here by default. So what is the data type? Let's say So I'll just come here, run analyzer. Instead of editing, I'll just run analyzer. Here I'll select, okay, where do I want to run the analyzer on? Is it on VirusTotal? I'll click VirusTotal, and I'll click run selected analyzer. Now this starts running, then there's a reports here. So what I can do is view the reports from VirusTotal. I'll just click on it. So you see, it looks so beautiful here, running it on the Hive instead of running it on the Cortex platform itself. So it gives me information, tells me places where you see CrowdStrike, so it's places where this has been flagged as malicious as well, right? Now I can, it also gives me a link to view few reports. I'll just click on that link and it takes me there to view the full reports. So as you can see here, this is rated 61 by out of 66 engines by VirusTotal. Now, again, I told you that I told us that we can also view alerts, right? I've integrated my Wazoo alerts now to the Hive as well, so I can view alerts from Wazoo instead of maybe going to Wazoo always. I can have this, gives you like a centralized platform. You get it, like the virtual SOC. Basically, that's what the Hive gives you. So I can view my Wazoo events from here. Tells you when an event is disconnected, the user is logged on. Gives you all of those events here. So you can also preview this. See, you can also preview this to get more information about what is going on over there. Now, I can also sort it because I've also integrated my MIPS here. I can also add maybe a filter to say, okay, give source by type. I have type here. Let's see. Type, yeah, sort by type, and instead of Wazoo alerts now, I want to see MISP alerts. So I'll just I'll just click on that. So you can see the alerts now. This one just tells me the alerts that are coming from MISP only. So this is a really super cool tool for case management, task creation. Gives you templates, and it's more beautiful when you integrate this to your SOA platform, because you can be able to do automated incident response as well. And for the sake of time, we'll be able to look at things like SOA now, the shuffle. Then there is this other one, Redmine, that you can use for case creation. It's also a very cool tool, and also the MITRE ATT&CK platform. So for today, we're just intend to show you how the extent to which you can go using open source tool. Thank you very much. I'll take your questions.
Thank you very much, Sam. That was a very wonderful session there. I think we've learned a lot from this point. Very good understanding of how we can integrate all of these tools together instead of having to operate them as a standalone component. And I think the Hive, from what you have displayed so far, it's a very nice tool to have in the SOC and for the analysts to be able to run their work. So for anybody on the call who has a question, you can drop your question on the chat. We're going to be taking these questions together towards the end. So we're going to go into the second section of the webinar. So Sam, can you unshare your screen? So we take that.
All right, so let's continue.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
All right, cool. So we're just quickly going to brush through this. Some of the threats, looking at the cyber threat landscape for this quarter, the second quarter of 2022. And in order to do that, we'll look at things that have happened in the last quarter, and then we'll try to predict what we expect to see in this coming quarter. So from last quarter, we witnessed, or we didn't witness, but it was in the news that there was an attack against the Nigerian gambling sites. And the type of attack was not made clear by the victims. They only said that they were under attack and they didn't give any much information about this attack. But there's speculation going around that it's a ransomware attack, and this is in line with the trends that we have been seeing in recent times. Ransomware attacks against virtually every organization. And one crazy thing is that the cyber attackers, they try to leverage every single vulnerability now. They try to chain it to a ransomware so that they can make money out of it. Before ransomware became so popular, attackers that have the sole aim of making money, they mainly targeted e-commerce websites and e-commerce systems. But these days, since they cannot make money only from e-commerce, now e-commerce sites are now very secure and they are hard to break through because definitely the administrators know that money is involved. So they make it hard to crack into. Now, the attackers have shifted their view with the advent of ransomware. They target less hardened systems. They target the more exposed systems. And once they make their way into it, the only way they can make money out of those systems is either they deploy a ransomware or they use the system to mine cryptocurrency. So these are like the two things that are very common now, and we expect the trend to keep rising. Also, in the last few weeks, I'm talking about from the last week of December till now, two critical Java vulnerabilities have been released, Log4Shell and Spring4Shell. They are both remote code execution vulnerabilities, which is the highest kind of vulnerability you can find because it grants the attackers access to the system to execute commands and several other actions that they intend to perform. And with the way it's going, it looks like someone is out there with a list of Java vulnerabilities that they are pushing out every few weeks. So
absolutely.
Yes. So we believe that probably in the next few weeks, we'll see more Java vulnerabilities that will be released. On top of the Java vulnerabilities, in the last few weeks, in the last quarter, we also had the Linux own kit vulnerability. This is a local vulnerability for local privilege escalation. It's quite critical because it affects virtually every Linux platform that exists out there. And if you have not implemented a patch, you are most likely vulnerable to this. And there are several other Linux vulnerabilities that were also released in the last quarter, although they are not so critical, but still looking at the trend, it looks like Linux vulnerabilities are going to be coming out in the next few weeks. Then the sysjoker backdoor malware. This was actually discovered in December or made public, whatever it is. It was made public or discovered in December of 2021, and we have seen an increase in use of the sysjoker backdoor malware. And it's cross-platform, meaning it affects Windows, Linux, Mac OS, virtually all the major operating systems on the market. So we have to look out for attackers that are trying to use this backdoor malware to infect systems. And this is usually delivered via emails and downloads, malicious file attachments, stuff like that. Then on the other side, we have seen government involvement in trying to shut down dark web marketplaces, and there's a lot of collaboration. One that is very notable is the Hydra dark web marketplace that was shut down by the German government in collaboration with US law enforcement officials. So they shut down the the Hydra dark web marketplace, and several other dark web marketplaces. It's not limited to Hydra alone, just that Hydra is like well known. It's one of the first dark web marketplaces out there and is the most popular, but there are several others that were also shut down. So summary of our prediction is more ransomware attacks, even though it sounds cliche now, but we still expect more ransomware attacks, and we expect more critical vulnerabilities, more Java related vulnerabilities. Question mark on that, because it's just our hypothesis that we're just guessing that someone might be out there sitting on a bunch of Java vulnerabilities. And we expect more government effort to combat cybercrime, as we have seen in the case of Hydra, and also in Nigeria as well. There's a lot of collaboration between the officials, especially EFCC and the FBI. So we expect those type of collaborations to keep increasing. And the recommendations, as usual, what can an organization do to better protect themselves against this? These are stuff that we might all be familiar with. Need constant application security assessment in order to identify vulnerabilities in our applications. And this is very useful for discovering these Java vulnerabilities, because these Java packages, they are actually files. They are not like they are not installed applications that most vulnerability scanners will easily discover. So it needs more effort in order to identify these vulnerable packages. In some cases, especially when you are using a customized Java package, especially when you're using a customized Java package. So you need security assessment to identify these vulnerabilities in them. And as usual, more proactive monitoring and effective incident response plan in order to detect these attacks, and when they are detected, you respond to them in a timely manner to prevent these attacks from spreading within the organization. And you also need the blue team, red team approach by running the breach and attack simulation activities. There are several breach and attack simulation platforms out there, and there is a particular open source breach and attack simulation platform. Isaac, can you remind us, please?
Infection Monkey.
Yes, there's Infection Monkey. There is another one I know Isaac has worked with in the past. There are several of them. A little research will reveal them to you. Also need to implement the disaster recovery plan, especially to combat this trend of ransomware that we're seeing. In the unfortunate event that you get infected with ransomware, you want to have something to fall back on in order to continue business. And then third-party vendors and third parties that you work with, you need to ensure that they don't bring in applications, or they don't bring in things that are vulnerable, that will expose you to more vulnerability. That is more like inheriting vulnerabilities from others. So thank you. This is the trend and some of the recommendations we have for you.
Thank you very much, Awal. Yeah, that's a very good highlight of what we should be expecting. And I think we have started seeing some of these things already. A couple of weeks back, we were able to identify a C2 server that is targeting a couple of organizations here in Nigeria. And I think for you to see an attacker trying to use that kind of Cuba strike framework against your infrastructure, you should just be worried of the motivation of such attacker. They are not going to just stop. They are going to definitely want to hit you with ransomware. So we hope to see organizations take proactive measures as we recommended, moving forward into Q2, so that everybody can stay safe and businesses can continue as usual. So for Chukwuka, we have a question for you. Somebody is asking if is it that you have to install the Wazoo and the Hive together, or there's a way you have to do them? Like, is there any special configuration you have to do to bring them together and make them communicate as you have shown us in this session?
Of course, you need to set them up individually.
Okay.
Yeah. For the Wazoo, you can do do a standalone setup like I have done, or you can do it. You can have it distributed depending on your the kind of the memory size now, or where you're deploying it. For production now, you want to make it distributed. So you have different clusters like that. But for this one, I just did a standalone. The Wazoo is different. Then I have another setup that has Hive and Cortex, all of that in one, right? So it's again, this is also part of things we will be we'll be looking at in the course, like I said, that is coming up in June. So you can be on the lookout for that. But basically, your Wazuh can be set up separately. The Hive is also set up separately. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think another question that we have here is how much technicality do you require to be able to put these open source tools together for your users to display during the section?
Okay, I would say you don't require, you don't have to be like a pro. It doesn't require much technicality, but then you don't have to be naive as well. You need some level of understanding to be able to do this, and because you'll be working with a lot of configuration files and all that. So some level of technicality is required, but it's not like you have to be pro. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. I want to thank everybody for participating in this edition of the webinar. Just like what Sam mentioned, there's a course coming up, which we are already putting together all the necessary requirement for the people that will be interested. This is more focused on security operation. We are going to, I think, a couple of questions that people have shared around, the technicalities that comes to play, especially when you are putting these things together. So these are many more what you're going to learn during this course. There's going to be a lot of lab experimentations and hands-on practicals for people to experience because of the training as well. So I want us to just pay attention to our pages on LinkedIn, on Twitter, generally on social media, so you'll be able to get to have more information when the courses are out there. So I want to thank everybody for attending today's section. There's another upcoming section very soon. It's going to be by the end of this quarter. We're going to have a very beautiful section by then. So I want to appreciate everybody for giving us their time for today. Thank you. Thank you all for your participation. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Awal, for this nice presentation that you're giving to us today. Thank you all.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.